Let me welcome to the show, as we're just getting to this breaking news as we speak. The attorney for Kevin Backlund is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group, and he joins us live here on KIRO Radio. Hey, Chris, I appreciate you coming on with me this afternoon.
Happy to do it, Dori.
I am trying to understand this decision by the prosecutor's office. What have you heard?
Well, I'm not surprised that they've decided not to bring criminal charges. When we're talking about criminal conduct, it's really about intent of the dog owner and whether the dog owner had prior knowledge of the viciousness of the dogs and those dogs harming a human being prior to Mr. Backlund being attacked.
Well, but the owner of the dogs said in that police call the dogs were doing what they were trained to do. It sounded, in his own words, that he was acknowledging that he knew that the dogs were capable of doing that.
It's really not enough, and what the prosecutor really needs is somebody to come forward to be able to testify in a court of law in a criminal proceeding that these dogs had attacked somebody before Mr. Backlund. And from my discussions with the prosecutor, they've had difficulty locating someone to do that. Our investigation had revealed that one or more neighbors to Mr. Owens did have such knowledge that the dogs had previously attacked, but I'm being told that these neighbors are reluctant to come forward, and I think the prosecutor has found that they are not cooperating, and so without sufficient witness testimony, it's really difficult to move forward in the criminal realm.
Chris, this is Ursula Reutin. I had a question for you. So given there are no criminal charges, this really doesn't have any bearing on a civil suit that is being filed, right?
That's correct. Although typically a criminal case will help a civil proceeding. It is not required, and there are different burdens of proof in a criminal proceeding than a civil. But that is correct. The fact that the prosecutor is not going forward with criminal charges really has no relevance to Mr. Backlund's civil case.
Okay, and you're going to have to, because you're being much more equal-minded than I am about this, Chris. But given all the facts and what was in the police documents, that the woman in the house said that your client, Kevin Backlund, deserved to die, right? That's what the police document said, as I recall, right? Okay. So she said he deserved to die for doing his job, for making a delivery. Emergency responders come. She did not open the gate for them. They had to ram the gate down with their truck, correct?
Right.
How in the world, when there's that kind of indifference to human life, do no criminal charges ensue out of all that?
So a couple of things. One, nobody can find this woman right now. We have an idea of who we think she is, but nobody's been able to contact her or get a hold of her. Two, we don't have any proof that this woman was actually an owner of the dogs. And so it's the owner of the animals that can face criminal responsibility. And for all we know, and for all the prosecutor knows at this point, is that woman was merely a bystander or a neighbor or somebody that knew the owner but did not actually own those animals.
And the four dogs, as I recall, they were put down just a few weeks ago, right?
Correct.
Okay. How is Kevin Backlund doing?
He's hanging in there. He's doing better. The recovery has been slow. He's still not back to work, but he's very diligent with his treatment, and we hope within the next few months that he'll be able to start working again.
Have you had a chance to talk to him since this prosecutor's decision a few minutes ago?
Yeah, my office has, and he's understandably disappointed. He also doesn't understand kind of the legal intricacies here and why the prosecutor would refuse to bring criminal charges. We've told him, however, that this is the prosecutor's decision perhaps today, but things could change. And who knows what additional evidence or what new witnesses may come forward with more information that might cause that prosecutor to, take another look.
Well, I got to admit to you, Chris, I don't understand the legal intricacies because it just seems that if you are going to have a dog with that kind of bite strength, that you have to assume, I mean, if an innocent person is attacked. Now, if there's a bad guy, if there was a trespasser, if there was a burglar on the property, I would have no problem with this. But when Kevin was just doing his job and the dogs were, according to their owner, doing their job, and your guy ends up with grievous injuries, I guess I don't understand those legal intricacies either, because I don't want some pit bull attacking my wife or one of my daughters when they're out for a run, doing something legal or on their own time. And if somebody doesn't adequately control their dogs, I would want not only the civil penalties, but I'd want the criminal penalties too.
And Dori, you're preaching to the choir here. I agree with you, and the law is what the law is, and in Pierce County, this is kind of one of the hurdles that a victim may face as far as getting the prosecutor to bring criminal charges against a dog owner. But I think the law should be changed, because I think Mr. Backland's case is a perfect example of how, in this situation, criminal charges are absolutely warranted. It's just a matter of meeting all of the elements under the criminal code, the county criminal code, that directs the prosecutor. So, it is what it is, unfortunately.
And we have a call out to Pierce County Prosecutor Mark Lindquist as well, so hopefully I'll get a chance before I'm off the air to ask him all that directly. And is Kevin too shaken up to chat with us right now?
Yeah, he's well, I don't think he would be good to talk to right now. He's extremely disappointed. I think perhaps, maybe in a few days.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll stay in touch on that. All right, Chris, you've always been great coming on with us throughout this ordeal. I appreciate you taking the time with the breaking news today.
You bet, Dori. Thanks.
Okay, Chris Davis, Davis Law Group.